Hi everyone, this is Valerie from Tusome Books. I am here with NiLo, the author of Harriet's Humongous Hair and Harriet's Tremendous Hair. Here they are. And we're going to be talking about her journey as a writer and why these books are important for kids to read. Welcome, NiLo. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So I just wanted us to begin by you telling us a little bit about yourself, just so that anyone who's watching, gets familiar with you as an author and you as a person.
As a person, okay. I am by trade a natural hair care specialist.
Okay.
That is what, as they say, pays the bills. I work only with Afro-textured hair, both loose and locked Afro-textured hair. And we also have our own product line here. So that's kind of the backbone of what I do. But bigger than that, I consider myself a community builder. So we have a lot of arms of that main company that help to engage and build the community.
Okay. So what can you talk about that maybe? What do you do for the community?
Yeah, so we so out of this space, we also produce a magazine called Melanistic Magazine, which you might be familiar with. I'm a quarter founder of that magazine, and I do a lot of the photography work and some of the behind the scenes, creative development in terms of the directions that we take as well. Okay. We also have a community garden that is not too far from the store, but we have almost 20 plots. We have 19 plots. So just different people coming together in the community. And then in addition to that, we also have a podcast that we do every week from the space called the Black Multiverse Theory Podcast. That's a lot of local news, kind of more Canadian centered current events, but also kind of what's in the big news. We call it On the Scroll. And we kind of go through what's on your Facebook or IG scroll pretty much and have those conversations. Yeah, and I think that's about it. We also do music. We have a band here. So all of those things kind of operate together to make the community that is aphrodisiac, pretty much.
Okay, wow, that's quite a lot.
A lot of stuff. I know. Every time I'm sure people are like, I'm sure I do too much and all of those things, but what are you going to do?
It keeps you busy, I'm sure.
Yeah. I consider myself retired a long time ago. And I'm now at the stage where my daughter's 19 years old. She's moved out of the house. She's in uni. So it's like I'm 38 years old and I'm an empty nester at this point. So I have my hands in a lot of stuff, but pretty much anything that I enjoy doing, I'm like, hey, everybody, let's do this thing that I love.
That's awesome. That's the best way to get people to respond.
Yeah, and the best way to live, really.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you're always doing stuff that you like.
Mm-hmm. So tell me about how you came about to write a children's book.
Okay. Yeah. So writing is my first and main passion. Directly after that is photography, very closely after, but before anything else, it was definitely writing. These books were spawned out of the first one, Harriet's Humongous Hair, was a story that I used to tell clients when young clients, when they were sitting in my chair, literally to get them to sit. It was short enough because they were always like, again. We never sat down to read it, not to read it, but to say the story one time. I kind of changed it up as we went, and there was different versions of Harriet. So that is where that came out of. We had a parent that was like, you need to write this down because sometimes she wants me to tell the story of Harriet and I have no idea. Mm-hmm. And then from there, additionally, from my younger clients as well, the story of Harriet's Tremendous Day came up, which was just all about what it's like to have natural hair, even when it's just done. A lot of kids will be dreading going to school after they have their hair done because they know they're going to get all of this excess focus and energy, which they may not necessarily, and attention, which they may not necessarily want, and maybe not in the way that they want it either. So that was a story that was being told to me that I thought we could probably put this in a format so that we can start a conversation about it and kind of have a discussion about it. So that's where Harriet's Tremendous Day came out of.
That's interesting. That's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
I remember when I was a child, I absolutely hated going to the salon or having people, like even just my mom doing my hair.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
So I read
I
your,
get that.
yeah, I guess that's
I get
every
it.
Black child's experience. Yeah. It was,
Yeah, and it doesn't have anything to do with them or their hair. It's just literally it's patience, what resources are available to you as a parent. It's like all these other things that kind of all like overlap to form this one common um, experience
yeah. I've
that
had
blends us together.
a few people have bought your book and actually told me, well, many people have bought your book, but I mean, a few of them have actually, read it and then come back and said, so true, like very accurate. And, how poor Harriet and her mom stayed up all night.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was very interesting to read about my own experiences in your book. That was
Right.
great. And the other thing I was going to mention, actually, for the benefit of people watching, the illustrations are amazing.
Yeah, so we actually had two. We had an illustrator who did Harriet herself, who just gave me sort of the character pages. And then I came in with a graphic designer who wound up being our illustrator for the second Harriet, who came in and did like the words portion of it, which really sort of brought it all together and made it really fun to read,
It's a very fun read, and colors popping. It's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
So I was curious. Is Harriet in any way connected to your experience growing up?
Yeah, so personally, probably the second Harriet's Tremendous Day, a lot more than Harriet's Humongous Hair. Mm-hmm. When it came to my personal hair, I was like one of those Black kids who my stepmother was white. So likely the conversations that we all had with the Black kids who you're like, oh, I want to give that lady a card for my salon or what have you. Like I was that kid. Yeah. So my hair was kind of always like, I didn't have like traditional experience. I didn't have the experience I had with my stepmother was like, probably not, right? And then I had bullying experiences in school around my hair as well. Which is why I thought Harriet's Tremendous Day, the second of the books, was also very important. In 8th grade, I got my hair set on fire, like on the playground type of a thing. So that is where Harriet's Tremendous Day came from. But Harriet's Humongous Hair was me seeing my nieces and my sister, was me with my daughter, which is the extension of the story. It's almost backwards in that way. My daughter was like not about it. And then she now has locks. She's actually decided to lock her hair when she was 7. She said, wow. I don't want to do my hair anymore. I just want it to be regular. So I was like, maybe that's long. So we locked her hair nice and early and it got a lot better after that for us. But yeah, those two experiences, that's pretty much how they came out.
Okay. Well, it's interesting, what you just said about locks, and maybe this is a conversation for another day, but I've noticed, because my mom also, she has dreadlocks, and since before she got them, she also had the same issue. She didn't like people touching her hair, so she really struggled. And then after she got them, she's in like a very happy place now, and it just goes. So I'm curious, so what is it about dreadlocks that makes them grow so easily? And
I think it's probably, to be honest with you, when I first got my hair locked, the thing that I remember specifically was how little I had to think about my hair on just a day-to-day basis, how little I was worried about it, how much mental capacity was now freed up to like wonder and think about other things. I literally thought about how many desks I have left to go check my hair, whether it's school, elementary, high school, work, like all these desks that I've left to go check my hair. And so I think there's probably a level of like stress difference that contributes to that, but for no reason at all that we know of, I guess. Once you lock your hair dormancy actually goes down. So your hair actually thickens up quite a bit, just naturally, like without doing anything else. So maybe that has something to do with it. I'm not sure. I think sensitive scalp people are just like, give me a 6 weeks or 4 weeks. This every day or every 2 weeks thing doesn't necessarily work for everybody. So just a guess.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it could be. There's a lot less emphasis on you.
It's less mental space for sure.
Yeah. So what are your hopes for Harriet? What would you like readers to young readers to walk away with after reading either the first or the second?
Either of the two? Mm-hmm. I would like Harriet, and we're actually going to be really, really soon putting together a Harriet coloring book and a workbook. But I would really workbook just being like word finds and word puzzles and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I would really like Harriet to be a part of the wash day routine. Essentially, I'd like her to be like a staple in kids growing up. Like I'd like every kid to know the story of Harriet. I'd like parents to be able to reference Harriet, like remember what happened when Harriet did, and I would like teachers to be able to rely on Harriet to extend those conversations about othering and microaggressions and those baby racism conversations that we have to start when kids are a little bit younger. Mm-hmm. So I think Harriet has the potential to do a lot of those things and just make conversation really easy and just relating around these stories that are relatable. Like most Black kids, particularly, they're like, yes and yes, I know these two things, right? Yeah. So just people relating to each other.
That's awesome. I'm excited for the coloring books.
Yeah, it's really cute. A lot of it is the line drawings from Harriet's Tremendous Day. And then there's a couple ones that he put in there as well. And then we'll have like word puzzles and that type of a thing. Just something to do to sort of take your mind off of what's going on up there.
That's good, because then you can actually, circulate them or supply them to salons across the country, maybe even past that.
Ooh, I'll hire you for that part, for the marketing.
Yes, please.
You have a vision. You're like, actually?
And then one other thing you should, I think, consider making a TV show. Like little...
Yeah. So I would love, so what I really try to do is use Black creators and designers in the whole process. Mm-hmm. So I have been in the process of looking at getting a Black animator to be able to do it. I have a good friend of mine that's in children's television sort of programming that has spoken to me about maybe doing something with Harriet on that morning cartoon level. But in addition, just the coloring book portion that I'd like to have like an augmented reality piece of it so that Harriet can interact with tablets and iPads and all that stuff. So I'd like her to be able to move forward with technology essentially, but I'm 100% with you on having a TV show and lunch boxes and t-shirts and dolls that you can practice doing your hair on, right? So all that stuff.
Yeah, that's really cool. I wish you all the best with Harriet's journey.
Thank you. And thank you for being a part of Harriet's journey, for sure. Because you're the first, and I think you're the only bookstore in Canada carrying Harriet right now.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's not bad, huh?
Yes, it's awesome. So you guys get your copies. Go to tusomebooks.com. You can get both. You should get both, but you can also get either one. And I'll also include your NiLo's information in the comments at the bottom of this video. So thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much for having me.